Hello, welcome to Train Sim World 5. Today, I'm going to drive German route, Frankfurt to Fulda. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the other one. What I'm going to do is... there it is, test train. Drive this test service ahead of the Vectron being brought into passenger services. This is a nice looking little electric unit. I've not driven this before, apart from a very brief test, just to see if I can get it moving, which I can, so I'm going to do this activity. The Vectron does look like a nice unit, or loco, because it's not a multiple unit, it's just a loco that couples up to coaches. Here we go, test train. It's the one in the background behind the ICE. Right. Where's the text? Switch everything on while I'm waiting. Welcome to Fulda. Ahead of the Vectron being used for passenger service on the line, you have been asked to perform a test run of the route to look for any snags. Okay. Brakes are released. That would help. And now we go. Nice and gentle. We've got to stop in 500 meters, so we don't want to be going too fast. And our train. This is what we've got currently. Oh look, there's a train going up out in the other direction. Go back into the cab and cut power. There we go. We need to stop just up here. So you apply the combined brake. It's easier using the combined throttle brake than it is using separate brake. There we go, we're stopped. That's what needed. Contact the signaller to access the carriages. Proceed at restricted speed. Okay, we can do that. I think the fastest we want to do is about 20 miles an hour before we get to the platform, and then we'll start slowing to couple up to the coaches. So, okay, we're going a bit above 20, but you can just about see coaches in the platform that we've got to couple up to. And just coasting along should get us there without any problems. I believe we'll have to swap to the other cab of the loco. which won't be difficult to do. Just warning the people to get back from the edge of the platform. Not that there's anyone there. I don't think we'll have to do the doors, though I'm not sure. Find out once we've coupled up and everything. Still going along nicely. Set it to brake mode. And start slowing down. Those coaches have got red lights shining. Okay, brakes off. Keeping an eye out. Start using the main brakes. And we have almost coupled up. That was perfect. Because you never fully buffer up. Buffered up. Back into cab. Shut down cab, which is reversing neutral. And key out. Throttle needs to go to off. Full service. Okay, so that's there. Everything else, so now I get out. Is it possible to walk through? No. I've got to... I didn't mean to do the windows, I meant to do the cab door. I will not leave the door open because I don't want anyone climbing up. Come on, let me shut the door. You came up for a second. Where are you? Okay, I'll leave the door open. It's being annoying. Okay. Close the door. Seems I'm now going to be driving. Sit down. Key in. Forward. Brake cut in. Running. Apply power to get moving. And we've got 87 kilometres. With the train. That's the back end. No driving car, it's just all double decker all the way. Right, we should start going... Alright. Something's not fully released. Let's have a look in here. There's something not releasing. That's better. Brake hadn't fully released. We should now get going. That's it. 87 kilometres. So, I don't know how long that'll take. It's non-stop. It might be the fact that that door was open. No, that door's still open. I don't know then. Let's go into the cab out. Head out view in the cab. make sure we don't speed. We're going in kilometres an hour. Because it's Germany and they use metric for everything. It's a nice power tower. Interesting design. Keeps the wires all at the same height. Rather than the British one where you've got each phase on a different height. Right, 100 kilometres an hour. Get up to 160, which is 100 miles an hour, in less than 2 kilometres. There's a couple of another one of these. Looks like it. That was speed testing that passenger train. Or have been testing it, because that's got a cab car on it. There's another one. Up to 160 now. Well done. 140 at the moment. See where if there's any issues. That's what the idea of this run is. We're doing a run from Fulda to Frankfurt on a line that does have high-speed services, though we won't be on the high-speed line. High-speed is the ICE. ICE 3, I think, on this route. Which we're going to be passing some of my laptop is just struggling a little bit. Which should give us something to pass over on the side that would show the ICE trains and with the regional passenger and even freight service on this slow line. Middle line I think is the fast line. Whoops. A little bit over speed. I will do one of the ICE scenarios. The thing about ICE trains, if they're on a certain section, you can have the throttle set to 100% and it will stay within the speed limit. It will actually cut the speed so it doesn't overspeed. But it's only a certain section that doesn't have signal that does that. Don't get that on the regional trains and freight. You have to be paying attention to those. There's one of the other services. Probably another one of these. Yep. Don't know why we haven't got the green one. It's pretty good. Whoever wrote this scenario has included other members of this class. If this is meant to be a test run, surely other members of the class wouldn't be included. I've already done 5 kilometres. Okay. The speed limit we're doing something like 63 miles. Good. We'll take that. Nice. Put speed on that one. Let's go a bit faster. Not all autobahns have unlimited speed. Because I don't know what the speed on that is. Some of them have speed limits. Long reference siding, long enough for a freight to sit there out of the way while passenger service goes. There's another train loading in. I don't know whether it's just freight that we pass over here, or just passenger even, or whether we do get to have freight. I've not actually done many scenarios on this route. The only other one I've done is IC3 service. Unfortunately, I don't know how to put all the safety systems on. The ones that give me decent things like the equivalent of AWS and TVWS in the UK. This station at 153 kilometers an hour. It's about 87 miles an hour. Try and maintain the speed limit as much as I can. Got 150 shortly. 3.3 kilometres. Going uphill slightly, so we should be doing that at 150 get there. Hopefully it won't be difficult maintaining speed when you get below, slow down quite a bit. Let's just put the throttle when we get down to 130 before we apply throttle again. Throttle and drive the viaduct. Maybe it's just where that line goes underneath. After the next station is probably due to some tight bends. That is 65-70 miles an hour on this side. Driven 19.5 loco. Yeah. I guess that's about right. About 1.5 testing that I've had to get going in the first place. But nearly going back to 140. I'm keeping an eye on my speed as well as the speed limit. Certain famous blue campaigns now. More speed now. Centimetres right. Even though we're going around quite a tight lane. The funny thing about that famous blue campaign, it can be driven on any route on this game, because they're all standard gauge, and getting it up to speed is a lot quicker than even electric locos. It'd be nice to put them on a route where you can make him stretch his legs. So there's this route, there's the American routes where there's some really long runs. There's the London Faversham high speed route. want to see if that door's still open. Yes, it is. Surprised it let me go with that door open. I mean, you shouldn't be able to run with... Okay. We're going over 100 kilometers an hour. And I've just opened both doors. That's being naughty. I just thought it'd be a bit of fun. Choose the combined throttle brake to keep the speed. 110. Coming up to a station in a few seconds. They're on a 1 in 109, 1 in 97. The gradient is getting steeper, so using the combined brake means should stay within the speed brake. Go to 0 now. We're on the level through the station. Quite a long platform. And we're going back down the hill again. There is a couple of routes I would like to get relatively soon. One is Frankfurt-Fulda, because that's got the Swiss crocodile locomotives, which look awesome. It's also up and over a mountain, so that would be a lot of fun. And then there's the Blackpool route, which is set during the 80s and 90s. Blackpool branches. Includes a few trains that I would actually like to be able to drive, like Pacers, little 2-car, 4-wheeled trains that are Leyland buses on rails. They had several nicknames, one of which was Nodding Donkey. There's a few preserved after Northern Rail gave them to some heritage railways. There's a couple that have ended up in schools as additional classrooms. But they look fun. They probably weren't fun for passengers because they bounced all over the place, hence the Nodding Donkey nickname. But I really would like to get that route. I don't know if it includes any of the Blackpool tramway. It'd be worth getting even if it doesn't, because you get class 142s, I think you get another class 47, which is on top of the one I've already got with West Somerset Railway, and you get a bogey DMU. I think it's the class 101. Is a decent multiple unit, right? go up to 120. I'm not going to go, there we go. I can go up to 110 still, so I'm not going to worry about going up to 120. I'll just stick at this speed. It's a test train, there's no timetable. Just as long as I get to Frankfurt and stop. That's all that matters. So I'll just release the rate a bit on the level. See how long it takes us to get to up a hill a little bit, and now we're going down again. So we'll just coast for a little bit. Hopefully people are still watching. I do know that the Thomas videos that I've done, the 2 that have so far been released, have been popular. At the time I'm recording this, which is Sunday the 6th of April, the first Thomas video has got over 1,000 views, and the second one got over, let's just have a look, it got 135 views, so not quite as quick in terms of numbers as the first one, but still doing better than some of my other videos. I need to start applying brakes. Didn't realise how close to the 110 I was. So I'm going to slow down a bit. I was sort of looking at my iPad rather than looking on the screen. Okay, going back to 4. One advantage to using the combined throttle brake in real life, it'd be going to giving the power back to the network, as it's regenerative braking. So all of that heat from the brakes be converted back into electricity and fed back into the wires. I can accelerate a bit now because it's 160 for at least the next 3 and a bit kilometres. So we can just get up to some speed. That autobahn's still over there. Viaduct there. We're not. Press that wrong. I was trying to press the horn button, but I've zoomed in at the same time. We've got 54 kilometres. We've done 33 kilometres so far, so not doing too bad. We're going uphill now, so having the throttle at about 50 an eye on the signal as well. If I go through a red, it'll instantly fail. I'm going downhill again, so got power. We'll maintain this speed now while we're going downhill. I like the way that German railways have these sound baffles, which are these green things, and they go through residential bits. At least on the main lines. My main issue with that would be you can't go and watch the trains come past. You'd have to go to a station to watch them come past, or a bit like this where there are no buildings. So if they were doing steam on the main line or Bandam, you'd have to find sections like this to watch the trains go past. Which I don't think that's as good. I like the idea of just being able to look out your window if you live near a railway and see them go past. There's another bit with the noise screen, and someone's been doing graffiti on it. I can understand it being on a high-speed line, because the trains make more noise on high-speed lines than they do on regular lines. Or if the line has a lot of freight, because freight wagons make a lot of noise. But if it's mostly passenger and not high speed, I didn't see that speed limit change. I don't think people would mind if got the lines I'll try again. I don't think people would mind the noise from these trains if they were... I want to be in that view, but I want the local, not the rear end of the train. Because I want to do my... Class 193. Come on, computer, give me a screenshot. There we go. I wanted. Nice view. when I let YouTube choose screenshot, it always gives me a horrible one. So having my own screenshot is better. 139 kilometers an hour here, and I missed it again because I was concentrating on getting a screenshot. Should really be paying attention to what I'm doing, not trying to get screenshots. Through this little station. I don't know where we are. I don't see station names on the HUD, which is a bit of a shame, because you could see them on the old Microsoft Train Simulator, and I think Train Sim Classic has them. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know the old Microsoft Train Sim from early 2000s did. That was good for route learning. If you knew where you were going to go to, you could just look at the HUD and see what station the next one was. We should be up, there we go, 60. Let's get a bit more speed up. Keep an eye on that top right for the next speed limit. 41 kilometres left. So we've gone over halfway. With me waffling. Another station. Going too fast to notice what the station name is. Power a little bit so we maintain this speed roughly. Oh, something loading in. I really would like to pass a freight before I get to Frankfurt. Somehow I don't think I will, but it'd be nice if we did. Station that we're about to go past. 39 kilometres left. That is 29 miles. Oh, there's a red signal coming up. Found any issues as of yet. What we're supposed to be looking for, only issues I found is on my side where I've just not noticed the speed limit change. Oh, we get to go up to 200. That'll be cool. It'll be the first time I've done that with one of these locos, as long as it lets me actually do 200 kilometers an hour. It doesn't just say 160. There's another station before then. Something else is loading in. In front of us. Not that I can see, but there is a station. With crossover level crossing, so sounding the horn is perfectly fine there. Crossing. I am keeping an eye on all the HUD stuff, as well as track ahead. Hopefully, yes! Can go up to 200 miles, 200 kilometers an hour. That's 125 to 138 miles an hour, somewhere between there. So it's a little bit of high speed running. She's good. Maintain speed. My laptop doesn't decide it's going to have a one thing I do like about continental railways compared to British ones, you don't get the big fences, big anti-trespass and whatnot fences. You just get something like that next to a road. If you're going through a field, like on that side, there's no big fence. Railways just look as though they just put down next to, or on a slight embankment in the middle of the field. Nothing stopping people walking across it. Railways in Britain, apart from light railways, have to be fenced. Even here where the road is, there's no fence. It means you can get closer. You wouldn't want to, not the trains going 200 kilometres an hour. But it's still something that's totally different between European, American and British railways. Britain's the only one where fencing is mandated by law that I'm aware of. It's actually saying max speed here. It's on top. Max 200 miles an hour. to be on a route that has that. My laptop doesn't like it when lots of things get loaded in. Do we getting an upgrade to the memory? Which I probably will do at some point. Especially if I intend to run today, slightly involved bar, backdoor branches, even a new Cardiff route, South Wales. That looks interesting. It all comes down to money at the end of the day. Because unfortunately, all the routes cost money. The speed limit change. 20 kilometres from Frankfurt, which is 14 miles. And speed limit changed quite a bit. Quite suddenly. That would have cost me some AP activity points. My laptop playing up like this doesn't help. There's obviously quite a few things loading in. Emergency rules, I won't be able to continue. We are arriving at Frankfurt, which is why it's now stuttering so badly. There is a lot of detail around Frankfurt. This is a route that was built specifically for TSW5, so it uses more detail, much more detail. Pretty soon. I've got both brakes on maximum. don't think we'll be going back up to 200 or even 160 now. I think 110 max over the next 12 miles, 13 miles. Plane. We're going to Frankfurt Airport. Apart from that one freight as we were leaving Fulda right at the start, I haven't seen any freight trains. Not in scenario mode. Oops, wrong way. Did. In this side so I can see signals. Goes up to 110 kilometers an hour in just over a kilometer. I'm not sure if I'm going to go up to that speed. At the moment I don't know how long that speed limit lasts. But with my laptop struggling as it is, trying to go to that speed and then maintain it and then slowing down when the speed limit comes down again. It's going to be difficult. So I'll probably just stick it around 100 kilometers an hour. Oh, it goes up to 130. That's interesting. Why doing that when we've only got 10 miles and a bit until we get to Frankfurt? I'll stick around with kilometers now. There's no point in really rushing. Okay, it's supposed to take about 16 minutes at that speed. It'll take longer because my laptop is stuttering now. The reason it's struggling is when it's loading in one of these tail. At this level. I thought the track work on the other bridge was interlaced. It's not. It just looked like it. It's got check rails both inside and outside. Not something you see too often. It's a bit different. I'm actually going above the 100 kilometers an hour. I thought I was trying to get to. I'm just letting it speed it feels comfortable at. And it goes back to 260 and we're 10 miles from Frankfurt, 60 kilometers. So, I don't know. I won't be going simply fast. Because of coming to a stop at Frankfurt. I want to go through and hit the buffers. I also want to try and get the scenario finished. Just a little bit. Just 110. Back into the twin wheel sound. Sound blocking things. With graffiti on. Wouldn't want to be a graffiti artist on a railway like this where the trains can go up to 80 miles an hour. You'd feel a bit unsafe. I mean, there's no warning for some of these trains. Just be on you instantly. There's 160. I'm not gonna go up to that fast. I might go a bit quicker than I am going, but I'm not gonna go up to 160. I really don't see a point. Well, I will do when my laptop decides it's going to keep freezing. Guess that. between. I want to look down the back of the train, not into the cab. Getting there slowly. Relatively trouble-free run. Let's go back to the other side. Other side door. Now I can see speed limit after the next station, so we want to be slowed down enough for that. You'd think in these yards they have freight wagons, but so far, no. Surprising. Okay, my laptop probably would have really cried if there were freight trains around here. But we haven't passed another train for around half an hour. The last train we passed was a passenger train. There's only been one freight and it wasn't even moving. It's empty spine wagons. Slow down. Speed limit. slower speed line doesn't have the same big bright white line. It's a thinner line. But it's more noticeable than a yellow line. So I don't know if it has tactile paving like we have on our stations. But it stands out more for those with normal vision. Without any sight issues, I should say. I don't know if they've got tactile paving or not. I hope they would. Because tactile paving is there for people with vision issues to be able to see or feel they're coming to a potentially dangerous area. And the reason the tactile paving is inside of the yellow line compared to where the rails are, closer to the rails than the yellow line, is because people who use canes feel that before they get close to the yellow line from the platform side. It means they can get to the yellow line safely before they, without having to worry about being further away than sighted people. That's my understanding of it anyway. I have seen people who claim that tactile paving should be on the platform side of the white line rather than the rail side, yellow line. And it puts people with vision issues at a disadvantage. Doesn't really. Yeah. Canes, rod sticks, whatever you call it, it does give them more notice of obstructions or alterations in the ground than just using their feet. Sorry, I'm concentrating now. I've got less than a kilometre, so I need to really start to find the brakes. Let's get the speed right down. Surprised it's still saying 100 kilometres an hour as we go into the station. I'm sure it's turns rather than a through station. We'll find out shortly. Down to about there. station. It's 1.8 kilometres. It's further than 700 metres. But we've got a red signal anyway, so we want to stop in the platform. When my laptop has decided that it's loaded up enough assets, that is. Okay. There's the platform by the look of it. Frankfurt Station. Yep. Platform 5. Platform South. I mean Frankfurt South. There is another station after this, which is platform Frankfurt Hauptbahnhof main station. This is Frankfurt South or South. Let's switch to the other side when my laptop wakes up again. Taking its time to load up. A bit of a pain, but can't be helped. Come on, laptop. We're nearly there. 453 metres. We'll have got to the station. Sorry this video's taken a bit longer than the hour that the scenario said it would take. My laptop does struggle when there's a lot of assets to load in. But at least I've completed another scenario. Or hopefully will have done. As long as my laptop works. There we go, to the side, which is what I wanted. And coming into Frankfurt South. Frankfurt South. To go. Now, what I want is to start my brakes. For some reason I was speeding up then. I'll sort that again. One reason I've not done any of the collectibles on, apart from right at the very beginning Okay. I've got a bit more to do, so let's take the brakes off. Draw forward a tiny little bit. Stopped a bit early, but it didn't let me finish the scenario there. I don't know where any of the collectibles or what the collectibles are on this route. None of those are collectibles. I know there's a route map on every route, but I don't know where those are on this route. I don't know any of the collectibles apart from the route map. Maybe some posters? I don't know. Let's stop. There we go. See what it says. That's the end of the scenario, I believe. Come on, let's switch ends. Switch ends. Yep. There's me train just sitting in the platform. Thanks, driver. Let's see how you did. It's a nice looking unit. Or loco. Bit too bright red for my liking. Would have been nice to have it in the green livery. But still, we've done it. See what scores I get. Objective completed 500. Distance driven 8,680. Usage system 0. Correct cab setup not available. Speeding minus 5,420. No, 542.5. That's not too bad. No wipers in rain, didn't rain. Stops on time bonus, didn't get. Accuracy bonus 439. That's not too bad. Coupling 500. No issues with hard impact. No issues with junction changes. And no issues with left vehicle unsafely. Stop accuracy. Fulda 3.9 meters. Frankfurt 2.9 meters. That's good. And it took 50 minutes of actual driving, or in-game minutes, but you can see where I did all the speeding. That's because I wasn't paying attention. Anyway, that is the end of today's video. If you've managed to make it all the way through, thank you. Please click the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I would like to build up my subscribers, and when you subscribe you'll also get a little bell icon. If you click that, you can get notified of whenever I upload a video. The next video should be done for Wednesday, which will be driving a different route. Hopefully it won't take as long. And then Friday, appropriately, will be Thomas and Friends. And that should be Thomas sorting out the mess that Diesel made last week. where he hid Annie and Clarabelle behind coal wagons. So, thank you for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed it. And until next time, be seeing you.